I believe that every body deserves the chance to make something beautiful that fits them well. Hello, my name is Emily Crow from Crochet Creations and welcome to my YouTube channel. I have another roundup that I'd like to share with you. I am starting to compile a list of size-inclusive designers for crochet and knitting because I feel like it's really important to highlight these designs. When I looked online, it was really surprising to me how many designs were not size inclusive up to a 62-inch bust. Honestly, it's appalling. There are so many people that deserve to be able to make something that fits their body well, and when designers don't size their patterns up to include those body types, it leaves plus size people out of the community. And I believe that every person should belong to this community if they want to be part of this community. And there's all sorts of things we can talk about related to the community of the fiber world and inclusivity in all forms, not just size inclusivity, but today I want to talk about size inclusivity. I think that if we highlight those designers that size up to a 5X or a 62-inch bust, or corresponding like waist and hip measurements, that we can support those designers that put in the extra effort to size their garments for everybody. We can help motivate the whole industry to move towards greater size inclusivity. There are many designers that I will not name here that have purposefully decided not to be size inclusive. And it's a shame, honestly, that they are being closed-minded about that. Even if they don't feel comfortable doing that math and sizing, there are resources out there and tech editors and measurements available that can help them to size their garments to fit all sorts of body types. That is my spiel. But today I want to talk about 10 crochet designers that have size inclusive garments and highlight a few of their garments. And I want to make this a series, so if you have any size inclusive crochet designers that you love, definitely put those suggestions in the comments below for future videos. I will say that my definition of size inclusivity is up to a 62-inch bust because that is what the Craft Yarn Council lists as the measurements for a 5X. I know that there is a lot of variability in what is considered size inclusive, but for the purposes of these videos, that is where my standard is going to be. I'm not including any designs or designers that I've found that only size up to like a 56-inch bust or a 58-inch bust because that's just not quite enough. And I would love to expand the industry so that all patterns one day are sized up to a 62-inch bust at the very least. So that is my focus. I tried to get a mix in this video of designers you may have heard of and designers that I think we should hype up some more. So let's get right into this. Quickly, elephant in the room, I'm wearing my Seriously Soft sweater by Stephanie Aaron, who is a size inclusive crochet designer, but I don't think I have her on this video. Nope, she'll be in a later one. I did try to get a mix of new to me and well-known to me designers, so I definitely have plans for more videos like this. So Stephanie Aaron will be on a later video for sure, but this is the Seriously Soft sweater. I'll show you. I used Fezza Opulent in these two colors and I faded them together. This was my Halloween sweater last year and it is currently November 1st, so 'tis the season for spooky makes. Let's get right into this. The first designer that I want to highlight, Anna Maria of Crochet Highway. I have loved seeing her grow. She's grown so much over the past year or so. She actually has tested a few of my earlier designs, and it's really cool seeing how she's really blossomed as a crochet designer, especially as a size inclusive crochet designer. I feel like her style is focused on combining a lot of texture and color play, and you can really see that in all of her designs. And she does a really good job at creating almost collections, I would say, that use the same stitch pattern. So the Cosmopolitan collection, she's got a half a dozen designs using that texture. So if you enjoy that texture, you can make more pieces to match. Let me highlight a few of her designs. The Cosmopolitan sweater, I think, might be her first sweater design, if I remember correctly, but it's this really cozy texture. I really love this texture. It's got like an alpine stitch or a puff stitch type of detail. It looks so soft and squishy, and it's got this batwing design, so it's really nice and cozy. Ooh, so squishy. I love it. Okay, and it, oh no. It came out in January 2022, the Cosmopolitan sweater, and it is a DK weight sweater. I think this is a beautiful textured sweater. And then earlier this year, again, in April 2022, Anna Maria came out with the Don't Scrap That raglan, and she had a couple different samples. It's really cool to look at what the testers are making too, but for her samples, she has a one-colored sample, but she also has a more scrappy version, and it's really cool to see how she designed this piece as a way to use up some scraps too. It is a DK weight sweater, and it says it uses the moss stitch, which is one of my favorites. Nice and light and airy. This would be a great piece for the winter season. And finally, from Anna Maria or Crochet Highway, I want to share her newest design, the Libra pullover. I love this. I already bought the pattern. She came out with this in October, and it uses sport weight yarn. Oh, I love this. This is really, really neat. She used like an ombre yarn so you can see the fading from top to bottom. This has this really cool texture of like a yarn held in back, yarn in front kind of thing. Almost reminds me of in knitting like a slipped stitch texture where you have certain loops that you slip up and so those go in front and then there's the color behind. I don't know how this is made, but I love this texture. It is really, really intriguing to me and I definitely want to make this. Some people made it in just like two colors and so it's more of a like a striped look. Some people used like an ombre yarn. Some people used higher contrast, lower contrast. Some people did like color blocking. It really is up to you on what you want to do. I have not decided what I want to do yet for this, but I think this might be on my list of things to make for 2023. It's really neat and I think it's really cool to be making crochet sweater designs that are unlike anything I've ever seen on the market before. Another designer that I want to share that's new to me, their name is Arts Crochet, Amanda Arts, and they just have a few pattern designs out right now, but they are size inclusive, and so this was a really cool find. The Wind Song Ruana looks like a really cool layering piece, really open and airy, and it's got some cool lacy textural detail. It would be a really good transitional piece to have as the weather's cooling down, or somewhere like here, I'm in California right now, where the winters don't get freezing cold, but it would be really nice to have an extra layer to throw on and take off as needed. I did try in this video to share only things I thought would be really good for this time of year as we are moving into cozy season and sweater season. So that's kind of my lens for picking out patterns to share with you from these size inclusive designers. And I thought that this one would still work pretty well. It is a DK weight yarn and they do groupings of sizes because the fit is so big. There are only 4 sizes, but the last size is a 4X/5X. Another design by Amanda Arts is the Mandala Cocoon Cardi. I've not made a cocoon cardi before, but I know that they are popular for the cozy factor, being able to wrap up in something and having that extra fabric just increases that cozy vibe. This is crocheted in, it says an Aran weight yarn, but it's Line Brand Heartland, which in my experience is just a worsted weight yarn. So take that as you will, but you'll definitely have to gauge swatch if you want to make a sweater that fits as you intend it to. So that's my 2 cents about that. But this has a really cool mandala feature in the back. It's got some almost like ribbing-like texture. So it's got a good squishy texture that would be perfect for wrapping up in. Okay, our next designer that I want to share that is size inclusive, you've probably heard of. This is Courtney Clark from I Love Tinderbox. And she's got a bunch of amazing designs. I have not actually made anything of hers. She's got lots of summer designs. She's got lots of sweater designs, lots of accessories that coordinate. So there's lots to look at. I definitely encourage you to check out her shops and explore what she has to offer. I wanted to first highlight one of her most recent designs, which is the Anona Fade sweater. This was released in September of this year. This sweater is fingering weight held double to make a DK weight gauge, and holding that yarn double means it's easier to do the fading in between the colors. So you get to see that really cool, almost gradient-like effect, which I think is really neat. It highlights the Frosted Stitches yarn. They did an Echoes collection, which was really neat and eerie, but beautiful. Really a beautiful collection. I hope that they bring back some of those colorways. This sweater was designed in collaboration with Krista from the frosted stitch, and I think it's a really cool design. I like the fit of it. Fading is always a great way to use up yarn. It sometimes feels hard to buy like a whole sweater's quantity in one color, but buying like multiple colors that you enjoy and then putting them all together in a beautiful sweater, it's great. Another design of Courtney's that I really love and that's on my to make list for sure is the Veronica pullover. She came out with this in February of 2022 using Winnie Jo Fiber Coat Squish DK, and I've used Winnie Jo's yarn before and I really enjoyed it. This pullover is so cute. Looks like she made 2 samples, or she made 1 sample, took photos, and then altered it in order to make the second sample, but there are a couple options in the pattern. There's a v-neck, there's a turtleneck. I'd probably make the cozy turtleneck option. It's got a cool split hem with a high-low detail. It just looks so cozy and so thick and so yummy, and a great use of some beautiful variegated yarn. Another design of Courtney's that I am intrigued about that I hadn't really noticed before, but I really like. This is the Faye pullover that she made in January of this year, and it looks like a basic raglan sweater. It's got this really cool, almost like a post stitch detail for the raglan. Those raglan increase areas pop out of the fabric, so it's got this cool texture. Looks like it's got like a bigger balloon sleeve and a thick ribbing, so it looks fitted but also cozy, which I think is more of my style. This looks like a really great basic sweater, and that raglan detail is just really interesting. I've never seen anything like that. It uses DK weight yarn. And then finally, for I Love Tinderbox, there's one more sweater. I wanted to try to get a variety of things, and I hadn't seen a lot of crochet colorwork sweaters, so I wanted to share this one. This is the Divana sweater by I Love Tinderbox, and it was designed last year, October 2021, so it's been over a year, and this has a really cool, almost like a tree-like texture in the yoke of the sweater. It uses DK weight yarn, if I didn't say that already, and this motif is also used in other of her patterns. She's got, I know, a hat pattern at least. There are others, I think. Oh yeah, she's got a fingering weight, a worsted weight, a bulky weight, and this DK weight that I'm showcasing. So if you love crochet colorwork sweaters, and if you love this motif, you can make one for every season. Okay, our next designer is Leroo Crochet, who is also a yarn dyer, and it's really cool to see when she uses her yarn in designs. She's just got a couple here I want to share with you. The Amelia sweater is the first one that stood out to me. I love this sweater, and I've been thinking about potentially making this. It looks like the perfect basic sweater. Sorry, the sun is just coming out right now. It's like the perfect basic sweater. It looks like the sleeve texture and the body texture differ a little bit, which is kind of interesting. It's made with DK weight yarn, and something special about Leroo Crochet is they actually size their patterns not up to just a 62-inch bust, but up to a 68-inch bust. So that goes up to like a 6X or so. So even people beyond the Craft Yarn Council's measurements for sizing can still make a sweater that fits them, which I think is really neat. Another popular sweater of Leroo Crochet that I've seen is the Celine cardigan. This has a nice squishy texture. This looks perfect for throwing on to keep warm. It is DK weight, so it's not overly bulky. It also looks like it's got some really good drape. It just looks so cozy. Yeah, it looks perfect for throwing on and off with the cold weather. And finally, from Leroo Crochet, the coffee shop cardigan is not one I've heard of before, but I love the color play that they use in their sample. There's like this cool like dash line thing going on. I really love the play of color. It's simple, but it's very effective. It uses DK weight yarn again, which is a great weight of yarn. Honestly, you can make anything for any season out of DK weight yarn. It also says a cardigan made without any seaming, which I'm sure everyone would love. So it looks like they used one main color and then 3 contrast colors for the little dashes within their version. So cool. I love that. We are on number 5 right now. This is another new to me designer. This is Kate Bridge. I hadn't heard of her before. It looks like they're from Australia, which is really neat. We don't see a lot of Australian makers, or at least I don't see a lot of Australian makers, and so it's cool to see more people outside of the United States, Canada, Great Britain, things like that, just to broaden my scope of makers around the world, which is really neat. Their main profile picture includes this sweater that I want to highlight. It's the All Too Belle sweater that I'm sure was inspired after Taylor Swift's video last year. Oh man. April 2022 was when this sweater came out, and I love the two-toned look in the neutrals. Makes it very wearable, even though it's definitely a statement piece with the bigger sleeves. Some people made it also with just one color, and again, the big statement sleeves, but they're not outrageous and hard to wear. I feel like this is stylish and trendy, but not outlandish either. So a lot of people, I feel like, would enjoy wearing something like this with the beautiful bell sleeve. It says it uses DK weight yarn. It was not as easy to read on here, but it uses the linen or moss stitch, which again, I love. I think it creates a really drapey fabric for crochet garments. The first sweater I actually found of Kate Bridges was the Millennial Jumper. This looks so cute. It has a really beautiful textured detail, got a fold over ribbed neckline, and looks like it's got the balloon sleeves. It's a little bit of a chunky fit, but nothing really big and oversized. It says it's an Aran weight, 8 wraps per inch. So Aran is kind of, if you are not super familiar, it's kind of between worsted and bulky. And so a lot of times you can get away with a heavier worsted weight yarn if you can't find an Aran weight yarn. The lemon peel stitch. So yeah, this is a good basic texture that looks great in any kind of yarn, whether it's variegated or tonal, solid, anything like that. This would be a really great sweater to add to your pattern library. It just looks very wearable and great for this season, as we are getting into the colder months. And it's funny because in Australia they are opposite, so they are now moving into the warmer months, but we can take advantage of Australian designer sweaters right now. Finally, for a little bit different of a look from Kate Bridge, this is the Lonsdale jumper that they just came out with in September of this year. It is a DK weight yarn. That is like a common theme, I guess, DK weight sweaters. And it's got this vertical rib texture, which is flattering, but also would make it easy to fit your body and your style. A little bit of a drop shoulder, got bracelet length sleeves, a little bit of a split hem. It's definitely a different look from the other two sweaters, but I think that's really cool how you can see her style in the modern, millennial, trendy, stylish looks, but also they are pretty classic and nothing so trendy that you won't like it in a season, you know? That's what I really enjoy as a make, is creating pieces that are timeless, that can last for a while, and I think that she does a good job at designing those. All right, we are halfway through. Let's keep going. Hailey Bailey. I love Hailey Bailey. I follow her online, and it's really cool to hear of her journey as a mother. She has a really cute little baby. Oh my goodness. She does yarn dyeing and some designing, and so it's really cool to see. She's definitely in a different season of life right now, but she's got some great patterns I want to showcase. Design of hers that I've been eyeing, and I just can't quite bite the bullet because it's a lot of yarn, is this dress pattern. It's the Dove dress. It's got this beautiful texture on top, and it looks like just some basic stitching on the bottom. It's got bell sleeves that start blooming out at the elbow. I think it's a really flattering look, and it's very romantic looking. It uses, it says a sport weight yarn, line brand Trubu, which is definitely a light DK. It was published in September 2020. Again, any size, child or adult, so you can size the pattern up or down, make it made to measure, which is really, really cool. Oh, and looking through all the projects, some people, like this person made a little one as like a witch costume for their daughter. So cute. There's definitely some plus sized makers that have made this dress, as well as more standard size. There's people who've cropped it. There's people who've made it like a peplum or a shirt. There's people who've made it a short dress, a long dress. So it really is a customizable pattern, which is really neat. Finally, from Hailey Bailey, as a winter-y garment, the Goldfinch sweater. This has an awesome texture with some cool puff stitches. It was designed in December 2020 using worsted weight yarn. I feel like this is a sweater that everyone needs in their wardrobe. I definitely want to make one. It says it's, again, fully customizable. I think that's You know, size inclusivity is really important, but again, there's people that fall outside of the range of extra small to 5X. And so when we can create patterns that are easy to customize for their body shape, size, and type, I think that's amazing. That's a win for the crafting community. This next maker, Susanna Biaye, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but I do apologize if I am not. She's got a lot of more summery patterns, but there's a couple of wintry patterns I want to highlight. The Jabemi cardigan, and I do apologize for my pronunciation, was just released in October 2022. Aran weight yarn was used for this. It's this cool cozy cardigan. It's got some pockets on it, and there's a detail on the pockets and on the sleeves at the very bottom near the cuff. It's this cool, almost like a braid-like texture that mimics the very back. This is really neat. You see this like mandala type of construction in the very back of the cardigan. So it's like business in the front and party in the back. I personally would probably not make the back panel look like that. I do like the horizontal V-shaped textures that are within the mandala, so I might modify the pattern to include more of those. But I think this is a really neat pattern. It's got some really cool textures, and Susanna does not have a lot of wintry patterns, and I think that this one is worth looking at. And then one more from her. This is so cute. The Leroo sweater, and she's got a jacket version that does not have the baby carrying capacity, but this one really caught my eye. I've never seen anything like it. It is a normal cardigan, but there's also an expansion you can create that creates like a pocket, so that if you are baby wearing, you can still put your cardigan on and close up the front with like an extra panel that you button to the sides of your cardigan. Super neat design. Really awesome for mamas with young kids so that babies can be cozy too. I think this is really neat. Worsted weight yarn, June 2022, so it's a pretty recent design. Definitely worth looking into. And if you are not using the baby wearing feature, or you don't want to, that's totally fine. You can still have this pattern and have a regular cardigan without the insert. That's like the beauty of it, is that it is customizable either way. Okay, this one I want to oh my gosh, the sun. Just a second. I'm gonna try to make the sun not quite as crazy in my eyeballs. So this next one I want to share, it will be this designer's debut sweater pattern. It is me. So this pattern is the Wonderland sweater, and it is being released in conjunction with the Winter Wonders blog hop hosted by Itching for Some Stitching, Ned and Mimi, and Hand Crochet. They're doing a blog hop, and the yarn was generously provided by We Crochet for this blog hop. I used Wool of the Andes worsted in the color Lake Ice Heather. And this sweater features a V-neck design and some balloon sleeves with a really cool snowflake-like texture. It's just got a straight boxy fit with about 4 to 6 inches of positive ease, so it's not overly oversized. It has a little bit more of a positive ease type fit rather than a fitted sweater. I think the sweater is super flattering on any body type, and I personally love a good V-neck. This sweater is great for just throwing on to get cozy by the fire, on the couch, wrapped up in blanket and doing your crafting, or it looks great dressed up with a beautiful skirt with some cute jeans to go out on the town for the night during the winter time. I think that this is a really good blend of comfy casual to classy. And that's the kind of things that I like to create. I have a few more summery type patterns, but this is my first winter pattern and I'm really proud of it. As part of the blog hop, you can get that pattern for free as a download, so make sure to check it out. The blog hop is going on for the entire month of November and into the first couple days of December, but my pattern will be available on November 16th as part of the blog hop, so make sure that you check out the links down below to get the free download coupon code for November 16th to get this pattern. And if you want to support all the makers involved with the blog hop, you can purchase the pattern bundle that includes all 43 patterns from this blog hop in one bundle for less than $16. That is a $203 value, so it's an amazing deal if you see a few patterns that you really want to make, then the bundle already pays for itself, which is super, super cool. And there's all sorts of things from accessories and home decor to even a few other garments. So I think it's a great bundle for making winter things. So I'll have the bundle link down below, the blog hop post down below, as well as my personal blog, links to my pattern, because it will come out on November 16th. If you are watching this after the blog hop and you do not want to purchase the pattern bundle, you can still purchase my sweater pattern. It is available on Ravelry and Etsy, and I thank you so much for your support, and I'm so excited to share this pattern. It was hard work to size it and to make sure that it would work for various body types, and I'm really proud of this design. Our next designer that I want to talk about is the lovely Hailey Woodward, who has some amazing granny square designs. Her story is really neat. I think she got laid off with COVID stuff, and she took that energy into designing crochet work, and her following has really blown up, and she's done an amazing job. She has a very distinct style in what she designs, and I think that her collection of her pieces work really well together and has a very, very specific look, and I love her designs. We're gonna start with the Jilly Slipover, which came out in April of 2022. She uses DK weight yarn for this, and it's a great way to use some stash, pick a color palette, and have a few different colors going on. You could do as many or as few as you want. I'm actually really tempted to make a sweater vest because they're a really good layering piece, a really good statement piece to dress up just a basic long sleeve or basic shirt. And if you like the Jilly texture, there's some other patterns that use that same motif. If you like a certain texture but you don't want to make a cardigan, there's usually a pullover that she has come up with. And we'll talk about one of those, the Gertie Jumper. So she has a Gertie cardigan, I know, and I think she's got a couple other things that are the Gertie collection, I guess. But I really wanted to highlight the jumper. I really love how it uses the granny stripes. This color palette is so cute. This color palette is really springy, but you could use any DK weight yarn color palette to inspire you for what colors you're feeling. This came out in December 2021, so it's almost been a year. Super, super neat. And finally, more as a transitional piece, the Rita Wrap cardigan. I love, love, love this design. It came out in June 2022. It uses DK weight yarn again. That's like the yarn of choice for a lot of these sweaters. And it's got this really beautiful lacy detail on the sleeves as well as along the, I guess, the V-neck or the inside of the wrap. I think wrap designs are really flattering because you can make them fit any body. If you're bigger on top versus the waist or vice versa, you can make it fit your body well. So cute, so feminine, so flattering. I love it. And last but not least, for this installment of 10 size-inclusive crochet designers is Lauren Willis, who I honestly had never heard of her before, and I'm obsessed. I need to add some of these to my to-make list. And she's known as Manatee Squares on Instagram. After I started compiling this list, one of my friends on Instagram was making some sweaters by her, and I was like, how have I never heard of this person before? She's got some amazing designs, and she also does a lot of more collection-based designing. If you like a texture in one of her patterns, there's probably a pullover version, a cardigan version, there might be a blanket version, there might be a kid's version, so there's all sorts of things if you want to dive right in. The first pattern of hers I want to highlight is the Snowballing Cardi, which has a really awesome color work bobble detail. It starts kind of halfway down the body of the cardigan and on the sleeves and gets a little bit thicker at the bottom, and it looks super, super fun. I would almost even exaggerate the snowballing effect of those popcorn stitches or those bobble stitches so there are even fewer in the middle and then they like slowly get bigger. I might like spread them out a little bit more. This is super, super cute. I love the color work making those bobbles pop. I think there's a jumper version of this too. This one though uses bulky weight yarn. It came out September 2021 and she has become a prolific designer. There are so many patterns. So many patterns. I highly recommend you check out her page. The next design is a really cool textured jumper, and she also has a cardigan in this. Do I need to say that anymore? She's got the pullover and cardigan of most of her designs, but this has a really cool textural detail. She uses DK weight yarn. This came out just in August. It's so beautiful. There's some bobbles, there's some lacy bits. It's got this really cool texture, and she has just a solid colored yarn. I think that's a great way to showcase. The texture. She has a lot of patterns that use filet crochet since the Christmas season is coming upon us. Festive Furs jumper. I love this. Oh my goodness. It's got little Christmas trees, and she even has little stars that I'm not sure if they are embroidered on. Some people have them, some people don't. Some people use multiple colors for the tops of their Christmas trees. So cute. These are so cute. Oh my goodness. Using Aran weight yarn. And this other one is called the Time After Time jumper. And this has a beautiful little heart motif. So February is honestly one of the worst months of the year, weather-wise, where I've lived. It's just like so dreary. You're like so done with winter, if you have winter where you live in February. And making a cute Valentine's Day sweater with little hearts on it would be so cute. And they have a junior version so you could match your little one. Oh my goodness. DK weight yarn. So nice and lightweight. And that would just brighten up any February. Let me see if I can find the junior version, which starts 6 to 12 months. So yes, everyone is getting a sweater with hearts on it. So cute. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me as I shared 10 different size inclusive crochet designers that I think are worth noting. And there's all sorts of different patterns, and this is not an exhaustive list of their patterns, so I definitely recommend you check them out down below. I'll try to link their social medias as well as pattern shops so you can browse a little and see what kind of patterns they have that are size inclusive that you would love to make. Also, this is not an exhaustive list of size inclusive crochet designers either, so if you have any that you love, let me know down below and I can create a part 2 to this video so that I can keep talking about these amazing size inclusive crochet designers that put in the effort to make sure their patterns are adaptable for any size, shape, and body. I think it's really important, and as we support those designers, then more designers will lean in that direction and we'll be able to change the industry as a whole. Let me know down below your favorite size inclusive crochet designers, any you want me to include in another video, as well as if you've made any of these patterns. I would love to hear your experience on making any of these designs. Actually, now that I think about it, other than my design, I don't think I've made any of these, and there's a few that are on my to make list. I'm trying to come up with a list of 23 things to make in 2023. So if there are any that you highly recommend from a size inclusive list like this, let me know down below so that I can create a size inclusive list of things to make for 2023. Until next time, happy making. Bye!